So, the other night I was sitting at home, minding my own business, probably getting blitzed and watching SpongeBob. That's a joke. I don't have cable TV. Then I get a text from Jess's dad, my father-in-law, and he says, "Hey man, I hit a deer. You want to fix the car?" And I'm like, "Hey man, not really, but I'm going to, because I'm a pretty good person." That's a lie. Anyway, so I just picked the car up, and on this side, doesn't look that bad. Just the hood's a little tweaked, and the bumper's kind of just hanging there all weird. Start walking around, and it's pretty much butchered. But he's working with a budget, so I'm going to try and just bend that out, fix the fender. Honestly, I'll probably just zip tie them together if I get them close enough. I think the only thing that I'll have to buy is a headlight assembly, because it looked like it broke. Oh yeah, this is my first time actually looking at the headlight assembly, and yeah, it is shattered. So that's what I'm gonna be spending my day doing. I'm sure that wind noise is fucking awful, but so that's what I'm gonna be spending my day doing, trying to fix this hood and fender, and then probably hit up a junkyard and try and find the headlight housing. Alright, now that I got the hood open, you can actually see how bad this fender is. Over here you can see how it's perfectly flat across, and then over here how it bows up because of all the stress that was put into it. And actually getting the hood open was pretty difficult because it pushed it back so far that this little catch right here was shoved into this one. So when you go to open it, would just want to start to bend this whole corner of the hood up. But might be able to just loosen up all the fender bolts and pull it forward a little bit, just so that it's not hitting the door so much. Let's see, because it is into the door, which for him in this car isn't too big a deal, but it shouldn't be too difficult to fix, so I'm just going to try to. And then just going to try and pull this out, which actually I might be able to just do by hand. Now I'll get that fixed. And then this, might be able to move a lot of it by hand as well. Yeah, this is gonna be fun. But luckily, the radiator and air conditioning condenser and all that, everything's intact. So luckily, it does still run and drive fine with no issues. See, I'm driving it right now, and it's driving great. Luckily, it is just the headlight, hood, and fender that got fucked up on it. Everything else, within reason, is okay. Alright, this is after just a few minutes of pulling and hammering, and using a crescent wrench for sheet metal work is actually genius, because you can pinch it right on the sheet metal, lock it down, and then you can bend it all over the place with pretty good leverage. But this is just after about 3 or 4 minutes of just pulling and tweaking and tapping, and it's actually starting to look fairly decent, actually. So I think just a little bit more, and then I'll probably zip tie the bumper up to it just to hold it, and then I'll probably call the fender good, actually. So that was a lot easier than I expected it to go, which is always nice. Alright, so we're at about 15 minutes worth of work right now, roughly, give or take, and it's starting to look like a car again. Still have a little bit more work to do through here, pounding this out and trying to get it back to shape. The fender, I'm gonna damn near call that good enough. And you can actually pop the hood now, and as soon as I find the lever, there it is. You can actually pop the hood now, and as long as everything's still good, you can, lift it without it catching on those things. I did just have to notch that side because no matter how I adjusted the hood, it would still catch, so I just said fuck it and cut off one of the little tabs. But everything else is starting to get there, so back to work. Well, I was just about to start trying to bend the hood back down to get rid of this gap here, and then I noticed that it was sitting on this bump stop here, and then I started looking at things, and then I noticed that this entire bracing here is pushed back and up, so I'm gonna have to fuck with this a little bit to try and get the hood to sit back down. Now that the hood's lifted up, you can see just how far in this bracing is, like pretty much completely touching this back little wall. And over here, it's almost a complete square tube. So, and you can see it's up, I'd say damn near 3/4 of an inch. So, just more work. And it's starting to rain. Sweet. Alright, so we just got back from Go-Go Auto Parts, which is basically a salvage yard, and got a headlight assembly for 40 bucks plus tax. Most places it would probably be cheaper, but Go-Go isn't a U-pull, it's a they-pull, so the parts were on their shelves. And here you can see how it's fitting. It's pretty close, actually. The hood, I'll say, is good enough. This, we can probably push that in more, pull the fender up, and get rid of that gap a bit. And then we'll probably call it good. But considering how it looked when I first picked it up, so much better. Pretty much night and day.
What year is this car?
2006.
Wow, that's rusted out already.
Well, it's 11 years old.
Yeah, true.
But we got the car all back together, and considering how it was when it got here, it turned out pretty good. If you remember, this was all folded back. It was creased right here.
And all that. Follow you back. Well, when you take it back, it's like, fuck, you brought it here.
Yeah. But definitely considering how it turned out, or how it started out, I think it turned out pretty good. Definitely good enough for him.
Yeah. 30 days, he'll just hit another deer.
Probably. I mean, as long as you're like 15 feet away, it doesn't look terrible. Just the hood and the fender's a little tweaked. Alright. Well, I'm gonna go drop it off. Alright, just dropped the car off, got it all back together. This was about the most budget repair I could do. The only thing I had to buy was the headlight assembly. That was $40 plus tax from a salvage yard. Most other salvage yards, it probably would have been like 20 or 25, but this one, they pulled the parts off and put them on shelves. So that's why it was 40. Got the fender to line up pretty decently, considering it was all curled back. And the hood too, it was folded here. You can still see pretty good crease right through here. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It helped distract me from doing body work, which I hate. And Wayne, try not to hit any more deer. Okay, bud?